My decision when I found out that I had prostate cancer and that some treatment should be taken quickly was to go for surgery. And the reasons I selected that one was because most of the research suggested that somebody at my age and my physical condition with no other kind of health issues, that the long-term prospects were best for me for doing surgery. And after I had a second opinion from a radiation oncologist who said yes, he thought that that was probably the best treatment, then I felt very, very comfortable about it. And I still do, thinking that that was the best that I could have. Unfortunately, when I had the biopsy was done of the prostate and the lymph nodes after the surgery, found out that cancer had already spread to one of the lymph nodes, which is not a good sign. Which resulted then in me going through a series of hormone treatments. The hormones are an injection. The one treatment that I had, I got an injection every 4 months, and that went on for 2 years. The intent of it is to try and reduce the production of male testosterone, because that's what feeds cancer cells. So after about 2 years, my PSA levels were down to undetectable level again, and that was great. So I went on for a couple of years, every 6 months getting a PSA test, and everything was fine until this past winter when the numbers began to go up again. And so now I'm back on a second round of hormone treatments to again try to reduce that testosterone production, the cancer growth, but that's where I am.
When Dad was going through the treatment he had, we were all very aware of what the side effects were and those sorts of things. So we sort of adapted to his mood swings and things like that happened.
Yeah, because he had hormone treatment.
He had the hormone treatment, right.
And
so
it does have a roller coaster ride.
Yes, it does. And there's, it's that up and down and just understanding that, hey, this is part of the plan, and to understand that his moods are based on the medication he's on.
And one of the other symptoms of hormone treatment is body hair. You begin to lose all your body. It would be nice if, if I could justify the fact that I don't have any hair is because I'm on hormones. That's not the case, but hormone treatments are unique. And I'll tell you, any woman that's listening to this will identify with what I have to say, because hormone treatments for a man is the same thing as a woman going through menopause. What are the symptoms? What are the side effects? Hot sweats, particularly at nighttime. And it'll be every hour, every half hour, suddenly the old temperature goes up. I bought a whole new wardrobe of cardigan sweaters that I could take off in a hurry and put back on, because it'd be becoming hot and hot. You put on some weight. One suggestion is that you do anywhere between 20-25 pounds. You get some swelling in the breast, and that swelling, that breast development doesn't normally go away after you stop hormones. You probably a little more irritable than usual, a little more emotional. And as I say, when my granddaughter told me about this raising funds for prostate cancer, well, it brought tears. It did bring tears to my eye. Like, I'm not a crier, but suddenly I found things I'd tear up. Can you imagine a man tearing up in a hole? Sometimes it's suggested, and it could have been in my case, I don't know, a little bit of a loss of intellectual acumen, loss of bone density. So there's a whole series of side effects. It's not so this is not a treatment that you want to go into unaware. And think about that, with all those kinds of changes, if I didn't share that information with my wife and my family, can you imagine the stresses that we might have gone through as I became more irritable, or as I became a little grouchy, or responded quicker, or more emotional. So it was fortunate that my wife was a nurse, understands things, did the same kind of reading as I did, and was helpful to me then. Of course, she kind of thought, after I told her all these things, she said, "Tell me, now when you're lost, will you stop and ask for directions?" It was interesting, after I had been off the hormones the last time for probably the better part of a year, I came down one morning and said to my wife, I said, Doreen, I said, I think I'm getting my manhood back. And she's kind of got this glint in her eye, and you know, because one of the things, you lose all your sexual impetus, your libido is gone because you don't have that testosterone. So anyway, I came down and I said, Doreen, I said, I think I'm getting my manhood back. So she got this glint in her eye, and I said, no. I said, I'm starting to grow hair back on my arm. So you got to take these things as they come along. You got to live with them, you got to roll with it, and you got to keep moving forward. I'll tell you a story. I have several granddaughters, and one of them several years ago, she lives in Calgary area, and it would have been after I'd had my surgery and my treatment, and she ended up by having a birthday party, inviting her entire class to it. And she said, rather than giving me gifts for birthday, let's make donations to prostate cancer research. When I asked her, I said, you know, why did you do that? She said, well, she says, because first of all, cancer affects everybody. She said, you know, you're a long ways away, but it affects us. You know, we're concerned about you. She said, I'm not going to be able to find a cure myself, but maybe if we all help a little bit, something might be done in the long term. And that really hit home, because we tend to think it's me, the man, I'm being affected. But then my wife, you know, when you get kind of touchy, you have needs, your lifestyle changes, all of those things affect you. My sister, who lives in Southern Ontario, when she heard that I was going to be having surgery, she said, I want to come and spend some time with you because, you know, I care. My son, who lives in the West, he showed up while I was in the hospital. He said, because I care. We tend to keep things into ourselves, and we tend not to like people to be around us, to cuddle us, to ask us how you're feeling. And so I felt uncomfortable, you know. And I can think of when my sister called and said, I want to come and spend time with you while you're recovering. I said, that's probably the last thing I want. I just want to be by myself. You know, I'm going to go through this like I usually do. I'll deal with it, but don't bother me. When my son showed up unexpectedly, I said, you know, why in the heck did you come all that way? That's expensive. And he said, but I care. And both of those messages were there, that the people care about us, and we have to also be able to open up and be receptive to them. And sometimes that's a little difficult, because as men, we historically have not.
That whole thing with your granddaughter must have been very emotional.
Oh, it brought tears to my eyes. It brought tears to my eyes when she said that that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to do her part. And subsequent to that, she and her sisters and my daughter-in-law have participated in fundraising activities to raise funds for cancer, not necessarily for prostate cancer, but certainly for cancer, because they recognize that it's something that's going to impinge on all of us.
It also, you know, sort of came down into my brothers and I, you know, sort of doing a little bit of talking and going, hey, this is something that can affect us, and the fact that we're all needing to get, you know, checked out and earlier PSA tests. The family's important. It's a connection. All of a sudden realizing that things do happen. So it's that family support. It's the caring, I guess is the term, you know, caring for. After doing some quick research online, realizing that prostate cancer is not a end-all and be-all cancer. It's partially curable. It is a cancer that is can be caught, if caught early enough, can be dealt with, and it's not something that, you know, you're going to die in 4 years of, or 3 months of. Getting the early diagnosis is the key. Early PSAs to start your, you know, benchmarking, and, you know, making sure that your doctor knows that, you know, it's in the family or where, you know, that you want the early test, and going from there.
So you're doing that now?
Yep.
So it's not just something in isolation. You know, cancer affects us all, and it's not just our family; it's our friends as well. It's the people that we work with. So when we think about it, we have to broaden our thoughts that the decision I make is going to have impacts on others, and maybe in that process I should also share how I feel. Well, a man, we don't show our feelings very often. We bottle stuff up inside. We can get irritable, and people don't know why. You know, it's important that we open up, that we share, that we get information, that we get some input, and let's make that decision, those decisions that we have to make, within the context of our family and our friends and our associates.